And welcome back, and it is the 5th of May, further maths 5 a day, and let's just jump straight to the first one, right? What do we have? Now, this is an interesting question because on the face of it, it says I want all the values of y that are greater than 144 when I square y. So square root both sides, so y is greater than 12. That is, of course, not right. And the reason it's not right is if I bring the 144 to the other side, it's actually a quadratic inequality. So now I'm going to difference of two squares. I forgot what it was called then. So difference of two squares is greater than 0, which means it's a quadratic that goes through minus 12 and 12. And I want all values that are greater than, which means therefore I want all values where y is greater than 12 or y is less than minus 12. And that is my answer to that one. Very easy to get that one wrong. Good question. Now, just to state this, because I normally do say it, whatever that sign is, if that is a strict one without an equals or with an equals, I do the same thing here. So that has an equals, so my answer has an equals as well. Next question. Solve the simultaneous equations. Now, this is what's known as a non-linear simultaneous equation. I'm going to rearrange this one and put it into this one here. Actually, you know what? I don't need to quite do that, do I? I can rearrange this one at the bottom to be y equals 5x plus 2. And actually, that's y equals as well. So I can just say that is equal to 9x squared plus 11x plus 3. Now, let's do some collecting on both sides. I'm going to move over to the right. So that's going to give me 9x squared. So I've used that. 11x minus 5x is going to give me 6x. And that's plus. And then 3 minus 2 is going to give me 1. Now, normally I would say you can't do this, but actually this is one of these clever ones whereby it's all on the x squared, isn't it? So if I attempt to factorize, I do know this one because I've seen this one before. I know this is the same as 3x plus 1 squared, and just to sort of show you that. So if I do that, so 3x times 3x is 9x squared, 3x times 1 is 3x, there's another 3x there which is 6x, and 1 times 1 is 1. So actually I happen to know this one just by experience of doing it a few times. If you didn't, quadratic formula will fall out, give you the same thing. Either way, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to solve. So I want to know where this is equal to 0. In other words, x is equal to minus a third. That makes this is equal to 0, which means that y, now I'm going to go back to this thing here. Y is equal to 5 times minus a third, which is minus 5 thirds plus 2. 2 is the same as 6 thirds, so minus 5 thirds plus 6 thirds is just a third. So the answer to my question, worked out quite nicely, is minus a third plus a third. And that is question done. Next question. 2 more to go. Given that y equals this thing here, work out the rate of change. In other words, differentiate. So again, terminology we need to get used to. So I'm going to expand the brackets first. So y is equal to 9x minus 2x squared. Then I'm going to differentiate because I want the rate of change. So that's going to be 9 minus 4x. And then it says work out the rate of change of y with respect to x when x is minus 3. So at x equals minus 3 dy dx is equal to 9 minus 4 times minus 3 is plus 12. 9 plus 12 is going to give me 21. So the answer to my question is 21. Next question and final question today, and it looks like we have matrices. Given that this thing on the left equals this thing on the right, work out x and y. Well, let's do the matrix calculation of the left-hand side. So 4 times minus 1 is minus 4. Minus 1 times x is minus x, and that is equal to 2 plus y. In other words, I've done that times that is equal to the top row. Then I'm going to do the bottom row times that is equal to the bottom value here. So that's going to tell me that 0 times minus 1 is 0, 6 times x is 6x, and that is equal to 3 times y. So I've got a simultaneous equation, haven't I? I've got 6x equals 3y, which I can simplify down to 2x is equal to y, and I can put this into here. So minus 4 minus x equals 2 plus 2x, because I've switched the y for 2x. Add x to both sides gives me 3x. Take away 2 from both sides gives me minus 6, which means that x is equal to minus 2. That's given my x value. I also need my y value, but let's remember from here that x equals minus 2, y is 2 times that, so therefore y is equal to minus 4. And that is question done, and indeed that is today done. As ever, decent mix of questions today. Do let me know how they went for you. Like, subscribe. See you tomorrow.